Agentic shopping is here already. Store owners and customers are already deep into creating new experiences for customers. And while we're seeing new features like Shopify's global catalogue, UCP, Agentic Channels, etc. emerging, there's also platforms and tools who are a couple of years into that journey already. That's where today's guest fits in. Back when most were just starting to think about AI features, Michael Tutek was already shipping it. I remember loading up the Arc'teryx website one day, and there it was, an AI shopping assistant, live and working. Back when most of the industry was still writing think pieces about whether this stuff was even real. Michael's the founder and CEO of Preezie out of Melbourne. He started on the sales floor at The Good Guys as a teenager, and he noticed that 30% of people who walked into a store bought something, while online it was barely 1%. So he spent the last decade trying to close that gap. Quizzes came first, then 2 years ago, Microsoft sat him down and asked him if he'd looked into this AI stuff. And he pivoted his whole business, pretty much on the spot. While Michael's story is one of early adoption and innovation, he also talks about why he refuses to build products that try to change shopper behaviour. Why it's important to still cater for customers who want to scroll through 10 pages of products. And why he doesn't think a chat box is the future. You can also follow the Shopify app show on Substack, and please make sure you click that like, subscribe, share buttons, all of that stuff. I've also got an exciting announcement to make. I've been invited to record an episode of the show at .dev in Toronto in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to share more details of that and a few other things that I'm up to in Toronto. Thanks as always to the support heroes for sponsoring the show and for supporting Shopify apps all around the world. Let's go. Right, Michael, thanks for jumping on the Shopify app show today. Good to have someone else in the same time zone as me. And looking forward to chatting about all things Preezie and the journey you've been across. I might even just get you to start off. I'm really keen to share your story because, you're essentially started off with a sort of bricks and mortar type retail experience, and you've converted that to a digital experience. You're a classic case of that, and I'd love you to just sort of talk us through that journey.
Yeah, no stress. Well, thanks, Martin, for having me on the show. My experience goes back a while, actually. So, Eastern or Western European family. So when I was like 10 years old, Dad used to throw water on my face to wake me up in the morning, literally. So I used to help him lift bricks. He was a bricklayer. So when I could legally get a job, it was 14 years, 9 months, like on the day. My uncle owned one of the Good Guys stores. And I said, "Hey, uncle, can I come work with you so I don't have to work with the old man because he's hard work."
Yes.
So I was really young and working at the Good Guys. And the story goes pretty simple. Like I loved sales. I loved psychology. I liked retail. And back then, as I started progressing into Good Guys on the sales floor, 30% of the people that walked into the store bought a product, but online at the time, it was like 1 or 0.7%. And I was fascinated all the way back then as to like, why is the difference like a multitude of like 40 or 50?
Mm-hmm.
So then I started digging into it. And then from there, I became an engineer, went and studied, became an engineer, did finance. I then became a sales guy and just saved up a bunch of money living at home. And then even then, so this is like talking like, 10, 12 years later, I was like, I still really think there's something in this bring in-store shopping experiences online. So then I kind of co-founded the business with my co-founder, Kwok, put every single penny I saved into it. He did the same, and we co-founded the business. And then we've been doing it now for about 7-8 years.
Yeah, awesome. And look, the main thing I took out of that is it's okay for me to start throwing water on my kids in the morning to wake them up. So I'm going to start doing that. But
I think so. It might not be as standard today as it was back then.
But yeah, so no, it's a pretty simple. It's a pretty simple journey, really, isn't it? And like, I think tell me about the sort of the psychology of Preezie when you first built it, and what sort of those foundational elements were for trying to create that same conversion online as what you get.
Yeah. So the story actually probably got more interesting in the last couple of years. So bringing the in-store experience online's vision is quite large, and the vision is way bigger than what tech could provide. So initially we started off with, well, how do we do this? Well, you walk into a store, you look at a wall of 100 TVs, and Jack and Tanya walk up to you and say, hey, do you need help? And then they ask you questions. Where's the TV for? Do you have a brand preference? What's your budget? Whatever it may be. And they guide you. So at the time, the closest we could build, we're talking like 7 years ago, was like a quiz. So we started the business building e-commerce quizzes. And that worked pretty well. We work with lots of good brands, mid-market to the big dogs, and that worked well. So you put it onto a collections page, TVs, and it's a quiz. But the vision was always to bring in-store online, which is more than that.
Mm.
So it actually got more interesting in the last couple of years because Microsoft approached us and said, hey, you guys have this vision and you guys have a nimble team and retail. Have you ever looked at any of this AI stuff? And this is when ChatGPT and stuff like kind of just got released. And we're like, well, we play around with it, but we don't know how to use it. So we did this like Microsoft have this program they do with their startups where they bring you to Sydney and there's this innovation retail hub and it's like a whole building. It's pretty sweet. But we did a whole day there to go, well, could we do this with AI? Could we do this? Could we do that? And this was going back like 2 years now. And they were like, yep, tick, tick, tick. And I was like, okay. So on the day of that session, I basically made a call to pivot the whole focus of the business. So we moved away from on the day, hey, we're no longer doing quizzes. We're going to build an AI shopping assistant, an agentic shopping platform. And we spent literally a year and a bit building it. And then we launched that as a beta in May last year. So that's kind of the journey that actually got more interesting the last couple of years because the agentic platform side is more interesting and it also runs closer to the vision, which was like bring in-store shopping online.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you caught, like I'd known Preezie for a long time and had lots of clients and stuff over the journey using Preezie along with sort of some other similar platforms. And then, as it was, like that 12, 18 month ago mark, as platforms were starting to like look at what is the conversational part of it, what does the AI version of this look like. I remember just going onto the Arc'teryx website one day, who were a client of mine at the time, and and just seeing it was there, it was up and running, and I was shocked because I felt like it was the sort of thing that was still probably months or years away or needed that innovation to happen, but you were there and had dropped it pretty much straight away. And so that must have been a game changer for you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think where it's going is I think we like retail, say the industry, e-commerce, probably don't know 100% what it's going to look like in a couple of years. So I think you've kind of got two choices, like sit and wait or do something about it. So I think there are retailers that are the sitting and waiting, and they're the retailers that are doing something. And the doing something doesn't have to be perfect. The doing something is just like get familiar, try something, suss it out, see if there is an agentic version of bundling or similar to. And as we're progressing, what we're actually finding is that agentic or conversational commerce is actually going to be like right now. So, I don't think conversational commerce is going to be the game changer. I think it's actually going to be like an agentic commerce play where it's like your website does everything it does now, just better and smarter, quicker and easier. And those platforms will be different to existing platforms because they will be built. So I was talking to one of my sales guys today, and he was saying, you know what this reminds me of? Back in the day, when you had on-prem servers? So you literally had like a desktop. I remember my first job, there was like a desktop computer that held all our files. And then someone one day came in and he said, hey, I'm going to give you the same thing. It's just in the cloud. So it's cheaper, quicker. That's kind of how I think we're going now. It's like the next iteration is just everything is just AI native.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the UX, it's something I'm deeply fascinated by is what that UX looks like, because I think you're right. Like the conversational piece, it's a really cool first step, but I don't know. I link it back even to like you talk about replicating that in-store experience. And I think of not someone super intelligent who knows every piece of information in the world, telling you what TV to buy. It's someone who's a shop assistant who probably not Oxford educated to be that sales assistant. They are there, they see the customer, they help turn that wall of 50 TVs into an option between 2 or 3 TVs. And that's the basic
Yeah.
model of what they're doing. And they're not even necessarily putting you in the front of, there might be 5 or 10 good TVs for you, but their job is just to get that conversion, isn't it? And so
Yeah.
it's having a conversation where all of a sudden you've got people typing to a chatbot and getting a War and Peace back is not going to be what increases that conversion. So it's really about building that UX to be whatever is going to create that conversion moving forward, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think my view is like I think that all these elements will play a role. So if someone, because we had a big strategy day with the team recently, and we've drawn the board, 2026 websites are this, and 2031 in 5 years, what's the difference? And most of us, like internally, because we've actually done the projects, we've seen the data, we know how people interact with AI, what they do like, what they don't like. And most of it is like, it's probably going to be quite similar, just everything's going to be better, smoother, lighter. So a simple one is one of our best applications is like if you're in a store and you're looking at a pair of jeans and your size is out of stock, most of the time brands just go notify me. But what you actually should be doing is saying search for similar jeans in my size 34.
Yeah.
Now we can do that with our agentic platform. And that feature in itself, when it's developed, when it's bolted on with brands using it, is already like 20 to 30% of the value of the whole tool.
Yeah.
So like there is the you can plug it on product pages, you can plug it as a chatbot, but that's similar to out of stock actually gets more messages than the chatbot. It's a different application. When someone uses the chatbot for Arc'teryx, they see heaps of tickets reduced.
Yeah.
We've got a case study on this.
Yeah.
So I think it's always going to be about the friction points in the retailer. Like every retailer will have different friction points. One retailer will go, oh, when I do bundling, it's just poor form, or it's old clunky tech. It's got 300 manual rules. No one can even change it. Cool. Let's make that smarter. Someone might go, hey, my natural language search isn't that good. Let's employ that. Someone might say, listen, I still get like 200 questions a day on my live chat just about product stuff. Cool. Let's remove those 200 questions. So I think ultimately it will be everything that we do now, just smarter, better. I don't think it's going to go to a full chat interface like ChatGPT, because I don't think that's how people like want to shop.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like and I guess how much of that needs to be guided by humans to an extent, do you think? Because that's the thing, you can, I guess people have that fear of letting go when you've got everything's being answered by this big brain, and people do worry that you're going to have it give some bad information, or that stuff's not actually stored somewhere for you to reference back on it. How important do you think that is?
Not that important. I think there's two parts that are important for humans to get involved. One is the setup, so that it's considered and it's tested, and that you tell the AI, this is how my brand thinks, this is how my brand does stuff. Then I think you just need a human here and there to check the transcripts and the logs to tweak it. So like, for example, if I get a job at a SaaS vendor, or I get a job at, I go and get a job at JB Hi-Fi, and I'm in brown goods TVs. Do they just say, hey, Michael, day one, jump on the sales floor? They don't. I'm a human. I have human level intelligence. I would say I know how to sell a TV. No, I spend probably weeks or months being trained on how JB Hi-Fi does it.
Yeah.
So my thing is, well, why wouldn't a super AI need the same thing? Of course it does. So all you're doing is you're spending a bit of time in onboarding, getting it right for your brand, your tone of voice, how you do things. And then all you're doing is like kind of performance reviewing it like a real person, going, hey, Michael, how many TVs did you sell? I was listening to your last conversation. You had the opportunity to actually upsell our wall brackets and our TV installation. Was there a reason you didn't mention that? Oh, I forgot. Okay, let's make sure you don't forget that next time. It's literally the same thing. So
Yep.
that's where humans need to be involved, but you don't need to be involved in day to day. And you also want to be careful what you do. So like I had a customer say, he was saying to me, hey, Michael, we're really big into putting all our live chat transcripts in as a knowledge base. I said, are you sure? And they said, yeah. And I said, well, let's like just make sure you're sure, because I've had examples where one of my retailers actually looked at how the AI answered something and looked at how a human answered a very similar question, and they said the AI did a better job. So then what would happen is if you give it all your current examples from humans, you actually can give it examples that are worse, and you
Yeah.
can actually impair the the output, or you can impair the
Yeah.
say overall performance, because it's like me going, oh, this is how you sell a TV, and I say do this, this, and this, but a real example that I give you says do something different, but that person did that poorly.
Yeah.
So you need to be careful with stuff like that as well.
Yeah, so what you're saying is the humans are redundant a long time ago. They're not, and I,
Yeah, well, no, not redundant. I think
mate,
I don't think you should need humans
yeah,
to maintain
yeah,
simple functions like a bundle or a similar to, or you shouldn't need a human to answer a question like on Arc'teryx, what is Gore-Tex?
yeah,
Like that isn't necessary. Um, but you need a human to get the system right and to maintain and performance manage it, and also build the right UX to go, hey, I think we should have the AI. Like a simple one is, if you're reducing tickets, why not put a miniature version of the AI in front of the contact form on your contact form button? So
yeah,
when you have a contact form, that contact form is usually just a form. Okay, well, how many form fills do you get? Oh, 1,000 a month. That's a lot. Have you ever put like, why not put a small form factor of the AI and just say, before you fill out the form, give it a try here. You
yeah,
might literally drop 30, 40%, 50% of your queries. And it's like, cool, what's 500 less tickets worth a month? Like a
yeah.
lot. It's like being able to understand where to place it, how to place it, where it sits, all these things, so that the overall experience for the shopper is like better, net positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's two things in that. Like, I think I've found the same experience, like with stuff where like trying to train AI prompts and going down the path where you think, all right, this isn't giving the results I want, so I need to put more info into the AI prompt and try and fine tune it more. And I've found that it's ended up being the flip side, where actually when I just delete my prompt altogether and just let the LLM do the whole thing, it actually does a better job. And
Sometimes, yeah, it's
it's
interesting.
humbling.
Yeah, I've seen like in our platform, I've seen both. I've seen where like too much instruction is no good, but then I've also seen the opposite, where like too much instruction is required because no instruction just gives me average. And
Yep.
this is where it's like it just depends on the brands, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're very inspirational, like if you're a brand that's very inspirational, meaning more visual, um, it's like cool, show me boots for Coachella or whatever. Like it can be really high level, really semantic, really general. But
Yeah.
if you say, hey, I am size 12. I'm looking for a jacket, and I want it to be non-leather, and you don't give them something that's size 12 and non-leather, then that's bad.
Yeah.
So it's that world where it's just like you just got to figure out where the nuances are. And that's kind of why I think people do our stuff. They use us
Yeah.
because they're like, you know what? The figuring out the nuances and the management and the build and the token cost is too hard.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna outsource this to someone else.
What's the moment a Shopify app realizes they can't keep doing support tickets themselves?
When an app realizes that they need the help, it's already a little bit too late. And all of a sudden, you start getting 15, 20, 30 queries a day. You look at the inbox and it just keeps piling up. You sit down to build and there's just no time. That's when most app developers realize that they're a little bit in trouble.
The Support Heroes. Round-the-clock support for your Shopify apps. Visit thesupportheroes.com today. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing that comes, like, I think with anything where you bring AI in, like, I don't know, I've fallen back to the two things that you want to achieve are to either save money or make money out of it. And it does both of those things. But you mentioned like the inspirational type brands, and you work with, I know, some sort of some brands like that, like I think Lorna Jane and those types of brands. Like how have you seen them changing where they can invest their time based on having more AI tools in terms of like being able to produce branded content and actually focus on that creative side of what they do more?
Yeah, I think the best example I have is Blue Bungalow, and Puma. I mean, Puma's half functional, half visual. Blue Bungalow is more visual. I mean, every brand's got a bit of both, but generally speaking. So I think the biggest thing there is what some of these brands are finding super valuable is the insights from transcripts. So like, for example, if I say to Blue Bungalow or whoever, are you running a campaign at the moment on dresses? Yes. What's powering that campaign? Like, how do you know what that campaign should look like? They'll go, oh, well, we come up with this. Okay. What if I told you here is 1,000 questions on what women on your website asked about dresses last month? Okay. What if you found out that there is a huge bias towards rayon material, or there's a huge bias towards stretch or non-stretch, or crinkle or non-crinkle? Like, how would that change? They're like, well, I'll change my assets. I will change this. I will change my copy. They're doing that. Further to that, you might want to look at the transcripts and go, hey, we're worried about SEO and GEO. Fair call. So then what brands are doing now is they get all the questions from the chatbot and we clean them up, and you can put them back on the product pages as user-generated frequently asked questions. So imagine now going, my PDP literally has 80, not 8, not 10, not 20, 80 user-generated frequently asked questions and their answer, which is considered new content to large language models. Because you can't fabricate it. You have to actually have a real person ask a real product question on your product, on your site, with an answer based on that. So now you're producing real content, and that will boost SEO and GEO like crazy, and you can put them back on the product pages. So there's those types of worlds where people who are brands that say more like less, you can do that for functional as well, but the more visual ones, it's about using the insights. But you can also do cool things like find me dresses awesome for summer, or find me an outfit for this, and it'll find you a dress and a hat and whatever. So without any strict requirements, you can do a bit of everything.
Oh, it's amazing. Like the creative asset generation, it's probably for a different conversation, like the where that's going to. Like I just saw in the Shopify editions announcements yesterday, like they've got some examples of like shopping products using the agentic catalogue, and you can basically, there's a site they've built where you type in, you type in a city and a season. And so like I typed in London in summer, and it just produced this picture of a woman. It didn't work out my gender, but that's all right. Wearing a skirt, a top, a hat to fit London in summer on a full screen image, and they were just from 3 random Shopify stores from anywhere in the world. So it's all very conceptual, some of it, but it's not that far off these types of experiences that people can create. It's such an amazing world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, because I think from what I've seen, and Amazon have said the same, is it's like the consumer is way further ahead than the retailer.
Yeah.
Because ChatGPT and these guys ended up doing more B2C than B2B.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is if you go to Amazon and you look at Alexa, it does a wicked job. It's really good. But it's not geared around, I mean, Amazon's not really an inspirational shop, but there's a lot less evidence around inspirational and more about point solution.
Yeah.
kind of like saying, um, shoppers want to be inspirational because they want to literally look at 300 dresses and they want to tab through 30 of them. So
Yeah.
we, like as me as a bloke who looks for a TV, I kind of just want to get straight to it. But when my wife Tanya shops, she likes looking at lots of different, and she will physically see it and she'll want to scroll through it. And if she doesn't, it will be like, well, I didn't see the range. I
Yeah.
could have seen something that I loved. So there's that world where I think that discovery probably won't change, but I
Yeah.
think solving a friction point at a specific point in time will be. So she finds 3 or 4, she wants to know the differences. Or I find a TV and I go, I want to know if this is good for bright lit rooms. It's there for me, or whatever it may be. So I think that is where we're going to see the short term. The long term, I'm not sure where it's going to go because it's that whole paradox of choice. Yeah, like if you say to me, if I say to an all powerful AI, say ours on JB Hi-Fi, show me the best 3 TVs for me, and it shows me 3, even if they are the best 3 for me, I will never be convinced.
Mm. Yeah.
I need to see 200 and
Yeah.
I need to work it through myself,
Yeah.
even if I get to the same point. So I think removing that is like, and that's where a lot of this inspirational stuff, oh, here is the outfit. It's like, cool. There's like 200 dresses and you're showing me 5 outfits. I don't think it's gonna, I don't know. I think it'll be really difficult because people want to go from that discovery piece. I think that's a human innate thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, you'll be in JB Hi-Fi, but you'll want to go and look at the good guys, even though they've got the same range, just to make sure you're not missing out there. And that's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
just,
that's right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it depends what it is. If it's, cheap stuff, if it's, buying some new cups, yeah, cool, they look all right. But if it's like I'm buying some clothing that like helps me like articulate like my personality or identity,
Mm.
that's going to require some consideration. If it's a TV, a laptop, anything electronics, that requires consideration. So I think there'll be different elements of it as we go, like
yeah,
different applications and different friction points. I don't think it'll be very different to what it is now.
yeah,
Just it'll be just better, smarter, quicker. Kind of like how you look at some things like you watch a cyberpunk movie or play the cyberpunk game. A lot of the stuff they do is like the same thing. It's just better, quicker, faster, more intuitive, all that stuff.
yeah. And like UX patterns are something where, like, I think you could look at a bricks and mortar store and, like, for example, that every shop has a counter. People go to look to the counter to pay, and then you see things happen like Kmart move their counter into the middle of the store, and people lose. I know I still can't work it out when I go into a shop like that. And
Yeah, yeah,
with an e-commerce site, it's the cart button being in the top right corner, and I've spoken to retailers who want to be different, so they put it in the top left corner just to be different. But though the patterns are well established, aren't they? And I'm sure they'll evolve and there'll be new ones emerge. But yeah, it's not going to be a random experience for every single retailer.
yeah,
They need
yeah,
to stick to some of those patterns that people are used to.
yeah, 100%. I think there'll be things that you can like. My view would be like, say, the cart in the top right hand corner. Cool. You want to be different. So when you click the cart or you do the cart, find something cool, innovative, different to do there. So,
Yeah,
like I said to my team, I do not want to build products that try and change behavior.
yeah,
That is too big of a thing to do.
yeah,
Like you need to be super lucky, like an open AI, or there needs to be a monumental shift in market patterns and you take advantage of it, or
yeah,
government intervention. But us as like a retailer or a vendor or tech provider trying to change behavior is crazy.
yeah,
So don't change behavior, but rather when someone does something, like it gets done like this now. Why? That's
yeah,
like, when when you use something and then it's new, you're like, oh, that was good.
yeah,
It's like when you first drive an electric car. I don't know if you've driven an electric car or have one, but like, I mean, I'm a car guy, so I like engines and stuff, but I
yeah,
do have an electric car. But when I first drove an electric car, I was expecting to go, nah, I'm a car guy. I drove it and I was like, wow, like
mm,
this is excellent.
yeah,
And it was like, it wasn't changing behavior. It's just when I did it, I was like, this is really good experience. Like it's smooth, it's quick, it's easy. Like everything about it was the same as now, just better, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, that's it. And it's I think it like the principles like speed's a principle that will always run true, won't it? Like a chat bot that takes 30 seconds blinking and flashing to tell you an answer is always going to be a bit of a crap experience compared to something that answers you instantly, or a button that you press that's already there. And so like that all comes into it. Those principles are still there. And if you overcomplicate it and ask too many clarifying questions, or try and get too clever with it all, you're just going to lose people. And that's it's I guess the same with the electric car, isn't it? You just they're intuitive, aren't they? That's the amazing thing about them. You don't get a manual for how to convert to using an electric car. You hop in and you say put the window down, and oh geez, it's actually put it down. It's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have acceleration, you have brake, and you have a steering wheel, and you've got blinkers. It's like great.
No, awesome. And now look, I feel like I could go talking about every single topic we've talked about today. I had 10 new questions I wanted to ask you, but I will start to wrap it up. I'd love to just finish off. Like, what's your roadmap looking like at the moment? What are your big challenges for the rest of the year? What's next at Preezie?
So for us, I think the key for us is we are building an agentic platform, like an e-commerce brain, if you will.
Yeah.
And for us, it will be about showing brands how you can actually build a better agentic experience on your site with like kind of new age tech. So you don't need, like, for example, if you want to bundle, if you want to compare, if you want to similar to, if you want to build profiles, if you want to search or product recs, you can do this with a modern infrastructure built for the era of AI. You know what I mean? So for us, we're just getting stuck into that and how that works, and getting deep with retailers in more detail with stuff like that. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. And to finish off, I wanted to ask you started off at the good guys. Have you got the good guys onto Preezie?
No, not yet.
Surely that'd be a full circle moment for you. Hopefully,
I know. I've been trying.
We'll tag them in post about this.
I know them. I know them well. I might be working with some of their brands, but maybe they're still work in progress.
Oh, they've got to do it. It's a romantic story. I think it needs to happen.
That's right. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Michael. That was just a fantastic conversation. I hope everyone gets as much out of that as I did. And it's amazing to chat to a great startup coming out of Melbourne as well. I got to speak to a few people on the show from here and around the world, and it's amazing innovation what you guys have done. So thanks so much.
No worries. Thanks, Martin. Appreciate it.